Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Thinks.
We're back, man. Episode 332.
Yes, sir.
All right. Once again, folks, unfortunately, we are at my place, at my residence, because at the studio, they have not replaced the fucking AC. We've asked them to replace it quite a few times. So we got to go where it's cool. I'm not about to be in there burning up. So, yeah, we're doing another one from my place.
Right.
All right. Yeah, just a disclaimer. So people would be like, oh, there's no YouTube episode. It's like, well, it's all the production, all the stuff that we have. It's a little harder to move all that shit all at once. But we'll be back. We'll be back
As soon as I get that AC replaced.
Yeah, we'll be back in there. All right, let's get right into it. Sonya Massey. This is a very sore topic, but we got to start it off with the most, just the biggest conversation that's been going on around, the internet and just conversations in general. Sonya Massey, she's a 36-year-old black woman that contacted the police when she felt there was a disturbance outside of her home. And she contacted the people that are supposed to protect her, who are the police. They showed up, and we'll give you an idea of what exactly went down. So Sean Grayson, who was one of the officers that had showed up, let me give you a little bit of his background first. Do you want to go over just what happened or go?
Yeah, I think you need to just tell the story of what happened.
Okay, what had happened is she felt that there was someone surveilling or around her home, and she contacted the police. They showed up, and when they showed up, they came inside. It seemed fine at first, and one of the officers, I just said his name, Grayson. Told her to, put her attention towards a boiling pot of water. She did that, and after the fact, he used it as leverage to kill her. So for anybody that's seen that video, that was a flat-out murder, first and foremost. And it didn't make any fucking sense to have her go over there and use it as an excuse, saying that she was trying to throw the water.
Him. Yeah. I think he said she came at me with the hot water, the pot or something.
Yeah, but he didn't start recording with his personal till afterwards, right? But you forget, you fucking idiot. Your cameras, I mean, your partner's mic or his what do you call that?
His body camera.
Body camera was on the whole time. His partner's body camera was on the whole fucking time. So he's getting footage while you turned yours off. So it was premeditated. Otherwise, you would have had your fucking body cam on, right?
Yeah. I think the sick part about this whole situation is that this is what it looks like in 2024.
Yeah.
Like, imagine all them 1980s, 1970s, 1990s situations.
Yeah. Adjust the mic a little bit. I don't hear you very good there.
Before Rodney King, like what all that looked like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just sad to see that even with body cams, even with all that other stuff, it's still happening. So
yeah, I think this is just a very repetitive conversation we've had over the years with different subjects. So it starts to kind of sound the same, and it sounds a little repetitive. But I will say, ultimately, what makes these stories different is they become it becomes harder to defend the actions of police, right?
Yeah.
I'll say this just as an example before we go any further. I've been driving trucks for 9 years. And in those 9 years, I've seen a wide spectrum of truck drivers. I've seen guys that do a great job, that are very safe, that do pre-trips and post-trips, and they inspect the truck and they make sure the load gets there safe. They don't speed. And then I've seen a lot of other truck drivers. I have some actual people that I work with that don't do their job. They don't do proper pre-trips. They don't check the tire pressure. There's a bunch of things they miss. So I would never say that most drivers are good drivers, because you can't quantify that statement. So why are we doing that with the police? At the end of the day, being a police officer is a job. You either do it good or you do it bad. In this case, they did it fucking terrible. And one of the officers that tried to render aid was told, just leave her. And he just left her there. So you're just as guilty as the dude that pulled the trigger. And then the motherfucker lied after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, dog, no, not at all. We cannot allow these situations to take place and act like there's just nothing going on. Anybody, it doesn't matter if you're liberal, conservative, whatever you are, you look dumb trying to defend this. I will also say this, because I don't want to jump all over the place. You have certain people saying you got to remove race. Just remove race from it. Remove race. It was terrible, but most cops are good. Stop glamorizing the fucking police. That's one of the reasons why we have so many problems. I think that one of the issues have stemmed from the show Cops back in the day. It started to paint them like superheroes. So you got the cops have created an audience of people. I support the police. And it's like, look, man, it's a fucking job. And let's be clear, we do need the police. Let's not get it fucked up. That law and order to me is important because we cannot police ourselves. Like motherfuckers is fighting over toilet paper and Popeye's chicken sandwiches. So there's no way we could police ourselves.
The only reason I would push back on that is because this is a prime example of what it looks like to need the police. Like you get shot in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a catch-22. Because if you need the police and the motherfucker stalking you, or let's say, for example, why it is important to have the police. You can also use the police for documentation. If you feel like somebody's been harassing you, the police comes out and they document the situation. And then they come out again, you tell them you don't feel safe. And then the third time you blow that person's fucking head off. You've had 2 interactions with the police telling them you felt unsafe. And now when you go to court or whatever goes on, you have documentation stating you felt unsafe many times. So the police not only are from an aspect of protection, but also for documentation to clear your name if something's wrong.
Yeah.
So I will say multiple things are true, but we cannot police ourselves. People are too ignorant. And once they find out that the police ain't gonna be around, it would be like the fucking purge. Like motherfuckers, we couldn't even finish the podcast. Somebody would kick the door down and take all the equipment.
Man.
They would they'd come in here and be like, give me that goddamn equipment.
And give me that butt.
Yeah, I got a gun though, so they gonna get shot. I'm gonna trick them and pull my pants down and shoot them. You want this juicy butt?
Give me that man butt.
Man.
That's crazy.
Like, Eddie, you didn't have to put your pants down to do that. I'm just kidding, man. But yeah,
yeah, that's real.
Yeah, these stories are becoming more and more repetitive. And also, here's the thing: they say remove race from it, right? Like, remove race. Okay, remove race is still a disgusting act. But my question to people saying remove race: when is it okay to bring race into it? Exactly. You've never clarified. The people that typically say let's remove race from it. Okay, when is it okay to add race? Is the only time people see racism is when it's overt? Is that the only time you see it? Like, does she need to be called a nigger or a black bitch for you to see that it was fucking racist? Racism is more nuanced than being called racial slurs, folks. For those that don't experience racism, let me tell you how this shit goes. Imagine you're a little black kid, right? And you got 3 homeboys, right? And they're all white, and y'all real cool. Y'all chilling, y'all kicking it. And he's like, hey, man, after school, come over to my house. We're going to have a pool party. You like, oh, cool. You the only black kid there, but the kids ain't racist. They chilling with you. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, your friend Bryce, his mom is like, Bryce, can you come here for a second? And then Bryce comes in there. When he leave his mom, he tell you, hey, my mom said you have to go home. You have to leave. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you leave, and then you see all of your other friends that are still there. They haven't left, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to go home. Mm-hmm. And then you don't realize when you have multiple of those things that happen in your life, racism is way more nuanced than just slurs. Mm-hmm. I had a coworker years ago. I went over his house, and by the way, racism does happen from white people. So let's be very clear on that, because this next example, unfortunately, is a Mexican person. I was over their house, and he was uploading some music onto my Zoom device that I had, and we was just chopping it up, chilling. I was like 21 or 20. I think I was 21 or 22. And then his mom came home, and then he was like, hey, man, yeah, I'll get back to you later, but you got to go, man. My mom said you got to leave. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, dude, my mom's crazy. She doesn't like black people, but it's cool, bro. Like, I'll catch you later at work. And he was just nonchalant about it. Mm-hmm. And the thing that's crazy about it is he said it to me as if I'm supposed to understand it. That's the thing that was crazy to me.
Like, you get it, bro.
Like, you get it. You're black. You get it. You can't be
It probably
here.
happens a lot. It's okay.
Yeah, you can't be here. Right. I've had another experience. I'm just running these experiences down so you guys can really get it into your head. I feel like I have a responsibility with this platform to express to you how racism works. There was another situation, me and my best friend of 23 years, Keith's older brother Desmond, me and him were over one of our teammates' houses. I had graduated from high school, so at this time I was 18, they were still 17, and we went over to one of my teammates' brother-in-law's house, who was a highway patrolman, and we were about to sit down and just chill or whatever, and obviously we're still young men. Dude was in full uniform. I guess he went out to get some buckets of chicken or whatever, and he's like, "Hey man, I got some fried chicken. I know you guys love that." And he's laughing about it, and I had never seen that guy. That's the first time I met him.
Right.
So you got a dude and by the way, I'm not sensitive to a racial joke. There's definitely some black jokes that are tasteful. Mm-hmm. Like Andrew Schultz and people like that can crack these jokes because they're based in like humor instead of racism. Mm-hmm. But he used a motherfucking stereotype to speak to me the first time you engage me while wearing a motherfucking uniform.
Right.
Right. So
yeah. And he's supposed to police black communities.
100%. Right. Well, no. Highway patrolman is policing the highway.
Yeah.
You know, however, you can still express bias within your policing if that's how your brain works. Mm-hmm. If that is the actual makeup of how your brain operates, mm-hmm. and you see a black person driving 1 mile over the speed limit, you're like, nigger fried chicken, fried chicken, must pull over nigger. And now you're seeing red and you're pulling over black people.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another scenario, because I'm tying all of this in. Okay. There's another scenario. I was with my buddy Levante and another dude named Nick Stowe. Shout out to Nick. And we were over my friend's name. His name was Meech, right? I don't give his whole government, but his name was Meech. He was the first dude to have his own apartment out of the group, and he had a nice place. We was over there chilling, chopping it up, just, being young men, some girls that came by, whatever, right? So we're leaving his apartment. It's probably around, 10 something, 11 right in there. And we see some cop cars down the street, and the lights are going, and then we hear a voice as we're going to the car. And he's like, hey, you. And we just looking around like, who the fuck is that? And then we see a cop with obviously an all-black Bakersfield Police Department uniform. He's jogging towards us, and we're like, oh, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. He said, you stop right now. And we was just like, huh? It was just unnecessary aggression towards strangers that had nothing to do with what the fuck he was doing. Mm-hmm. Right? So he's running towards us. I said, you three come here now. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay. So we come with the police, guys walking behind us. He's speaking aggressively on his microphone. And Nick's very nervous. But I mean, obviously, I've dealt with this before. I'm black. I've been pulled over countless times. So we get walked over to a sidewalk with like 25 other black kids, right? Mm-hmm. Or I won't say kids, but young men around an age of 19, about 22. We all get sat down in a fucking lineup on the side of the road or the side of the street. And the victim of a robbery was this black girl. Mm-hmm. And she's irate. She can't believe somebody broke into her place. And instead of treating her like a victim, the police are loud talking her, not allowing her. They're like, calm down, calm your ass down and tell me what happened. Like they're yelling at her as if she's a perpetrator. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point to where the victim's brother said, hey man, don't be talking to my fucking sister like that. They grab him, slam him against the door and throw him on the ground and arrest him and put him in the cop car.
That's sick.
Right? Then it don't stop there. Then there's probably about 10 squad cars on one street blocking everybody both ways. They come and get our identification. We have our licenses or identification on us. And when he's talking to us, it's in a really demeaning way. So my boy Levante ran track, and he's like, so what do you guys do? And he's like, we go to BC. He's like, oh, so what? So you any sports? He's like, yeah, I ran track at Highland. He's like, oh, so you're a fast motherfucker, huh? You're a fast motherfucker. And then we just look at each other like, what? And then he comes to me and he says, oh, so what do you do? I was like, I used to play football, but I don't play football anymore. He's like, oh, you're a big motherfucker, huh? Where'd you go to school? I was like, I went to BHS, Bakersfield High School. He's like, so you're a big motherfucker. Okay. And then Nick is crying, dude. The other guy that we're with, he's got tears coming out his eyes because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Eventually, they let us go. But I can't tell you how many times we've been through this shit. And unfortunately, it was a white officer every time.
Right.
Is that to say every white officer is racist? No. It's to say that we've had these interactions where these microaggressions take place because some of these officers that happen to be white do not grow up around black people, or they grow up in a community where the only interactions they have with black voices or black people is through Fox News or media, and they just look at archetypes of black people. And then when they get a job, they have to go out into these communities and police people that they view as enemies. So when they go to these places, they look at us like we're fucking in Iraq or we're like they're at war rather than like policing a community. And it's disgusting. One time, one of my buddies, shout out to Kinsey, he lived way out in some new developments. This is back in 2006. And it was me, Kinsey, Tristan, and it was somebody else. It was like 4 of us. And we just got pulled over. He says, "What the fuck are you guys doing out here?" And he was like, "What?" And we were all confused, like, "What?" He's like, "What are you guys doing out here?" And he was like, "I live down the street." And he was like, "Where the fuck let me see your license. Where do you live? Why are you out here?" And he's like, "I live right there." And it was the most racist interaction probably out of all of them that I probably had. Like, you can't believe that black people live in a good neighborhood. That's the one that fucked me up, man.
Right.
That's the one that fucked. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but
we got to bring it back to.
We got to bring it back.
Massey.
But the reason I just have to give these examples so it could ingrain into people's brains what the fuck black people go through.
Right.
Okay. And in this situation with Sonia Massey, she was literally viewed as an enemy, even though she called for fucking help.
Yeah. I just think that the way I look at it, we do have the conversations about race. And we have conversations about race a lot. But the thing about it is, even in this situation, if you strip away the ethnic part of it all, the real conversation is the systematic issues that are wrong with law enforcement. Like, we had the whole Kern County documentary, that Colin Kaepernick produced. And it just showed time after time, like, situations where police settled out of court with, certain family members paying, millions of dollars, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. In many cases, wrongful death suits, shooting unarmed people, shooting people, and fabricating the stories. The police officers, and these are not just black people. These are white people. These are Mexicans.
Absolutely.
These are different races. So
black people aren't the only ones dying from the police. That's not the message we're trying to put out.
So even if you look at statistically, if you wanted to say, well, statistically more white people die, well, it's still an issue. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's a black thing. I'm just saying, like, and I think what happens is we try to make it about race on both sides. Like, I think black people are trying to say, like, man, I'm tired of them killing us, which is true. And then white people are like, why is it always about race? Well, it's just like, okay, let's strip away the conversation about race and not even talk about it. Still, there's a systematic, whether
Absolutely.
Sonia Massey was Asian or Korean or whatever, like, the way that the police approach in general, the way that the hostile, the energy that they walk into situations with is just OD. Like, there's no reason why you should be murdering someone that called you for help.
Absolutely.
That I can't fathom that. And the thing about it that sucks, and I think that's slightly tangent, but I think that this is part of the reason why we need to be armed, is like black people in our communities.
Absolutely.
And different, I don't know the laws in every state and situation and stuff like that, but if you're able to handle that situation on your own, and if it was somebody walking, snooping around your house, and you gun them down and you have to call the police to clean up the mess, that's a whole different conversation than the police come in there. But even in that situation, I just think as a black person, and this is valid, the experience is valid, no matter what, any white person says or anybody else says, there is a genuine angst that we have when we're dealing with the police.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it, because we've seen on too many occasions where somebody is trying to ask for help, somebody get pulled over for speeding, just something where you should get a basic ticket and be sent on your way, or something where you should get a simple knock on the door. Okay, everything is good, we'll let you go, or whatever. It ends up in somebody dying.
Yeah.
So I just think that, whether it's about race, cool. It's, another unarmed black woman dies. That's, we can have that conversation, and we could bring it to a historical context, and we can talk about how historically, we are disproportionately been murdered by the police, and most of the time the police officers have been getting off. But now with the body cams, it looks a little different. We can have that conversation. But even if you set that aside, and we can have every white person in America, conservative or liberal, whatever the case may be, if we sit them across and we just say, hey, let's not even talk about race. Let's talk about how aggressive this white man is going. I mean, I don't even want to say white man. Aggressive this police officer is going into this house. Like, why are you speaking to people like
Absolutely.
that? There's no reason for that. Just like,
Absolutely.
And like you were saying, the situations that you've been in, take away the race. Why are these police officers, someone that is supposed to protect the peace, the one that is supposed to protect and serve, why are they even communicating in that way? And I just think that it's like a deeper issue with the how charged up, like you can tell, like if anybody's ever held a gun before, you just feel like there's a certain level of fear that goes with it. And that fear comes from the power, that we know a gun has. We know that a gun can take somebody's life like that. So the thing about these police officers, it's not about law enforcement. It's just about the power that they have when it comes from that badge that they're wearing, that police department that's on their car, and then the weapon that they're carrying. And they know that they are slightly above the law. They know that they can get caught, and they know that they can serve time. But in that moment when he's walking into the house, none of that matters. Because he's a police officer, and he knows that he has a gun. He's trained to use it, and we'll get into it later. But a lot of these police officers have rap sheets, dog,
bro.
And that's the sickest part.
Yeah,
it takes. What's the dude? The last big police officer. He had a rap sheet. He was in different cities. He got fired from one location. He moved around. It's like, dog, they're not doing their due diligence when they're hiring these officers, and that's the saddest part about it.
I think it should be a 2 strikes law, meaning if you should only be able to transfer to a department once. Once you lose your job, you're either fired or you do something that makes you a disgraced officer in some capacity. If it wasn't a murder or something that crazy, let's say you just fuck somebody's wife, I don't know, and they get rid of you, you only get one more transfer. And I'm talking about there should be a global sheet of your policing and your rap sheet, just like a regular person. And it's some people that have been transferred 3 fucking times.
That the guy from Fresno,
that was fucking one of the officers' wives. He's still.
Where didn't he move somewhere?
Yeah, he was. I forgot where he was from. We talked about it, but I that's why I said, like, bro, they need to fire this guy. I think he's still acting as the chief of police in Fresno. But the problem with that,
I thought he transferred somewhere.
No, he transferred from somewhere to Fresno.
No, I think,
but
I might be mistaken.
Now he's trying to transfer somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
My issue with that shit is this motherfucker shouldn't have a job. If you can't control your dick, I don't think you can control a gun.
Yeah.
So if you can't control where you stick in your dick, then I mean, you're gonna pull that gun out and use it on somebody the wrong. I just don't trust your judgment, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying you would just shoot people for no reason. I just don't trust your judgment. You have a very serious job, and It's just a powerful person with a lot of responsibility. A lot of people fuck up.
I remember I was downtown Bakersfield, and mind you, we live in Kern County where they like to shoot people. I was downtown Bakersfield, and I'm at a red light to turn left. So I'm in a turning lane, and the light turns green, and there's a police officer I think he's right behind me. The light turns green, and I'm not on my phone, nothing. I'm just kind of like looking, at traffic or whatever. Light turns green, and it had to be like 1/1000, two, like just very short, short amount of time. And I can remember looking in my rear view mirror and the police officer visibly being frustrated. Like, why are you why aren't you immediately pressing on the, and I'm like, dog, these are the people that are policing our communities. You know what I mean? These are the people I have to call somebody that doesn't have enough emotional intelligence to be patient enough to wait a moment to turn left.
But
you know what I mean?
But hold on. Let's not just make this about the police. These are the same people that are police. These are the same people that are truck drivers. These are the same people that are doctors. These are the same people that are registered nurses. These are the same people with serious jobs that have a lack of patience, that are very inappropriate, that are very unprofessional, and they exist in every fucking line of business. As a truck driver, I can tell you, I've seen truckers driving right behind cars and running them off the road. I've seen motherfuckers driving down a highway where a strap is just wobbling in the wind and it's not properly strapped down, and you got a bunch of cinder blocks about to fly off. I had to literally slow down traffic by swerving in and out of the fast lane, not like fast. You ever see how the CHP in California, how they kind of go left to right to slow everybody down? I did that with my truck to stop people from getting hit by cinder blocks in 2016 when I was hauling milk. Because the dude didn't tie his shit down good enough, and you got big ass cinder blocks flying. I saved people's lives because of an irresponsible driver. These are the same motherfuckers that are in police departments, that are in hospitals. Why do you think there's so many registered nurses that get malpractice and shit like that? To zoom it back in, there was recently a registered nurse, and this is a story that was everywhere. She had like 8 patients, which is a lot, but she had over like a late night shift. And she's supposed to do her rounds and check on the patients. Well, her last check-in was at 9 p.m. Around 3:30 or 4 a.m., one of the patients snuck out of the room, went outside the hospital, fell down a hill, and almost went into fucking traffic. The police caught the person and then brought him back in, and now the nurse is fired for negligence. But these are the people at these jobs. It doesn't stop. Right. Okay, now the reason why this is important to have a conversation about, because I got his rap sheet is right here. Here it is, right here. And this is disgusting. The thing that's crazy is I got a way cleaner record than this motherfucker. He got to be a cop with a record like this. This shit is ridiculous. All right. Years before Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson gunned down Sonya Massey in her own home, he had been discharged from the Army for a serious misconduct and had a history of driving under the influence, records show. So he was a fucking drunk. He had no business wearing a badge.
And he got discharged.
Ridiculous. He also failed to obey a command while working for another sheriff's office in Illinois and was told he needed high-stress decision-making classes, the agency's documents reveal. Grayson, who was Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy before he was fired and discharged with murder, responded to a report of a prowler at Massey's home. So she called, obviously, thought somebody was around her residence, saying she rebuked Grayson, and Grayson responded by threatening the 36-year-old. The exchange ended with Grayson shooting Massey and failing to render aid.
In the face, dog.
Yeah. So my question is this.
Before you even say that, the thing that makes me so sad about hearing this in Derek Chauvin, stories like this, is that my brother applied to be a sheriff. and he didn't get the job for whatever reason.
Right.
But these people have rap sheets.
Yeah, and they got the job.
That sound crazy.
You've been like literally. This is I don't know what they seen in this motherfucker. You've been dishonorably discharged. You got multiple DUIs. You've been told to do like behavior classes, and you still got a job.
And
How?
somehow somebody's seen all of this because they're doing background checks, right? Anytime you're working in any capacity where you probably getting government dollars or whatever, you're working around anything like that, you're going to get a background check. And they seen all of that, and they was like, yeah, he would be a really good candidate for this job.
Let me explain something to you too. And we talk about taking the race out of things. Let me be very clear. Okay, race don't apply to every scenario. But if my best friend of 23 years who has a clean record and who is a good person cannot get a job, and this motherfucker get one, that's crazy. And I know it's not the same department. Before people are like, but it's a different department. You never know. Right. There has been literal studies done of discrimination towards black people trying to get jobs when they have black sounding names.
The names, yeah.
Don't fucking at me. Go and look it up. It's all right there. Okay.
I mean, I can't prove it, obviously, but I've been in situations where I was recently trying to find a different job, right? I've been in a situation where my name is Keith Fingers, right? So it looks very, race neutral.
Yeah,
it doesn't
racially
sound
ambiguous.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very black. You might be like, oh, that's a white man from the Caucasus Mountains. So I went in a couple interviews, and mind you, I'm overqualified for these positions. These are like social media managers and video production, gigs at some of these companies, just basically shooting videos, running, editing graphics for these companies. And I get in there. There was one interview I did where I was in there, and obviously the guy didn't know what race I was, and maybe even on the phone he didn't, because he called me. Maybe on the phone he didn't know that I was, that I was a black man. But I get in there, and we do an interview in this kind of rinky-dink, kind of meeting area, and the interview lasted 8 minutes, maybe. He asked me a couple questions. He didn't write nothing down. He pulled out his pad and he had his pen and his paper there. He didn't write nothing down. He asked me like 2 or 3 questions, and that was the end of the interview. And I didn't hear a word from him after that. Yeah. So, and mind you, this is a job that I got a degree. I have work experience. I'm well. I looked at their social media. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't like they had these, these well put together, pieces of content. Like, this is a position that I really could have helped their company. Right. So I'm just telling you that's what it looks like when it comes to finding employment as
well. Keith, you shouldn't just bring race into it, because maybe you just weren't the right match for that person. You never know. But this is what we get told all motherfucking day as black people. I'm not saying that every situation is a racial situation, but God damn it, you would be a fool if you sat there and just wrote off everything and said that nothing is race.
Right.
You'd be a fucking moron if you thought that way. Mm-hmm. Society is full of people, and here's the worst part. Society is full of people, especially today, because being racist is not socially acceptable. So being as it's not socially acceptable, everybody's going to come off as they're not. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be black, green, purple. It doesn't matter to me. Them be the same motherfuckers that hate blacks. There'll be the same motherfuckers that don't like black people at all that will say those same things. And you'll never know it until they start displaying that motherfucking racism and people find out. You know how many times some people that I know, like years later, they got these letters in the mail to come back to fill out an application because there was a lawsuit in Bakersfield of them not doing any type of diversity hires at all. Mm-hmm. All like 100% of the black applicants got denied. Mm-hmm. Like, this is in this city, right? Mm-hmm. So my thing is when these things actually exist, you be a fool to dismiss them all the time. And once again, everything is not a motherfucking race issue, but goddamn, like,
yeah. The thing that I would say about this situation, and race is a part of it, just because it's black and white. You know, like literally black and white. Like this is a black woman that was shot by a white man. But that's not really the biggest issue, and that's what I want to bring home to people. It's a part of it, but it's not the biggest issue. But the thing that I would say is that as a human being and as a black man that is inherently connected to Sonia Massey, I know how this is going to play out. Like this is not Oscar Grant where he gonna get off. This officer he gonna get convicted. I can dang near guarantee it. Just the way the evidence is played out, there's no gray area. This is in this 2024. The way that the courts is like throwing a book at these dudes. I think the last Derek Chauvin and then the dudes from
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yeah, Ahmaud Arbery. Those people they got life sentences. So I know how this. There's a precedent. There's a new precedent now where they are throwing the book at these people. So I know how this is going to play out. The only sad part is that it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Because an innocent woman lost her life. And part of me feels like there's not really any there's no way to get justice in this situation. Like he's going to go to prison, for the rest of his life, and it's going to be like, it ain't going to be great for him, but it's not going to they don't do the death penalty really anymore. Most people kind of die out before they kind of die on death row. That's just kind of how the judicial system works. Where was this at?
What?
The shooting? Where did it take place?
God, hold on. God damn. I don't know. It's here it's in here somewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you find out, just let me know. But yeah, just different
Illinois. It says
Illinois. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what their death penalty looks like, but they're trying to take that away in a lot of states anyway. So a part of me is just like that. It's just not enough. Like he shoots somebody, he loses his job, and he goes to prison for the rest of his life. But somebody has to, a woman loses her life, and a child loses their mother. Somebody loses their daughter and sibling and cousin and all these other things, and he just gets to ride in a prison. Yeah, it's just something about that just doesn't feel right to me.
I'll give you another example that kind of bounces off of this with me personally. I was coming off of work one night. This is about 2018. I'm leaving work. I just got off my shift. I probably had like a 13-hour shift. I was in my work truck coming home. I got pulled over. He said, "Oh, we pulled you over for your tent," which is a bullshit reason because my windows were rolled down, right? And the back windows could be tinted as dark as you want legally per California. So I knew that. So I knew it was a bullshit reason why he pulled me over, first of all. He said, "Have you been drinking?" I said, "No, I just got off of work." And there was one officer I was speaking to, and he was doing his job. He was extremely professional the whole time. Now, the other motherfucker that he was with was trying to antagonize me, and he was trying to solicit a response. And here's the problem. If you're not aware of an officer that's trying to create an issue, you can end up dead. So one officer on the left, he's talking to me. He's not being crazy. He's just asking me for basic information, and I'm cooperating, even though I know it's a bullshit reason why you stopped me. The other officer had a bright ass light in my face on the passenger side, and I was like, "Hey man, is that light necessary?" He's like, "Well, let me do my job. Let me do my job. You do what you need to do, and just let me." And it was aggression out of nowhere. Aggression. Why? Take the race out of it, man. He's just doing his job. This is what I think. You want me to be blunt? I'm going to tell you what he saw. He saw a big nigger driving down the street and put a light in my face because he thought I was aggressive out of no fucking where. The other cop, I didn't get that vibe from him. Okay? I got the fact that he was trying to just ask me for information. And then the other cop, what I ended up doing, the dude that had the light in my face and he just kept talking for no reason, I just put a thumbs up and I just didn't say nothing else to him. I only acknowledged the other officer. And then the other dude ended up going back to the squad car, and he was physically and just like his body language, he was angry. And I did nothing. I literally said nothing, and he's mad at me. Think about this. Where did the aggression come from? Where did the aggression come from? Like, and the thing about it is we can sit here till we blue in the face making the same statement. I just want people to think deeper than removing racism from things, because racism don't exist everywhere. But some people and some of these cops outside of the uniform, if you're liberal, it affects how you police. If you're conservative, it affects how you police. If you can fight, it affects how you can police. All of these things and all of these outside entities, they affect how you police. And they bleed into your job. And however he feels about people who look like me, that's the vibe I got from him.
Yeah. I think, I'm just thinking about this whole situation, and it kind of like, it almost brings me to tears, because like, when your parents, I'm in my 30s now, so that means my mom is, she's in the last, phase of her life. She ain't no spring chicken no more. And I'm just kind of picturing her like if somebody was, roaming around her house and she calls the police, because she wants to, have them come check it out. And it's just like, I don't know, it just like makes your mind wonder, like, dang. And my mom is like that type of, she's like a very God-fearing woman. So, I could only imagine like, and it brings me to tears too, because that's to rebuke somebody, as people that are Christian, we know what that means. Like, we know that that's a thing people say when they're bringing God into a situation and trying to cast the devil out. And for that to be like, kind of her final words before she gets shot in the face. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very sad situation. And, for Black people, I think a lot of us, we can, put our, not only put ourselves in those shoes, but kind of, we do have those aunts, grandmas, moms, sisters or whatever, that we can, connect Sonia Massey to. So, I think there will be justice. I don't really see a world where it's not, but like I said before, part of that just doesn't feel like it's enough.
Absolutely not. I will say this. I think a lot of us suffer from recency bias. I think that society in regards to how Black people are treated today is a lot better than many years ago. That is a fact. When my grandfather was growing up and, and beforehand, Black people were treated terribly in public. People were lynched, all kind of shit. Now, here's the thing. It's a history with Sonia Massey, and which is wild. According to the family of Sonia Massey, the 36-year-old mother was a descendant of William K. Donegan, who had been a shoemaker and conducted on the Underground Railroad before he was lynched by a white mob during the Springfield race riot in 1908. Massey died in the same hospital, St. John's, where Donegan died after the attackers slit his throat and hanged him from a tree. So 120 years ago, 1904. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand, when people say take race out of things, you need to understand the historical context of why Black people are saying this. It's because not recently. It's from many, many years of being beaten, hung. I want you guys to go to Google and look up Emmett Till. I want you guys to go to Google and look up Red Summer of 1919. I want you guys to go to Google and go to the Black Wall Street Tulsa Race Massacre. There has been so much racial mass violence across this country that happened for many years. There are literally Black communities that got flooded. There are lakes that have Black communities under it. Like this, it runs
in Atlanta.
It runs very deep. They literally would go into Black towns, kill and run Black people out of these towns and flood them. Please do your history before you get on the internet and invalidate black people. Please learn the history of this country and the things that happen to black people. I think that black people now do a bad job of really explaining like, yo, this is why I feel like this. When you just say things like systemic oppression or words like that, they just look at those as woke terms. But when you literally give people motherfucking search and like actually search words to go look up, it's some disgusting history.
Right.
You know that, like, we'll move on, but you know how people talk about the Confederate flag it's just culture, it's not racism, right? I want you to go look up the Cornerstone speech. Go look up the Cornerstone speech and look at what that motherfucking Confederate, it was a Confederate, a colonel, I believe, and why he said what he said. It was literally a fight to preserve slavery because the black man was inferior to the white man. It is written in motherfucking clear print. Chris Rock's living mother had to get her tooth pulled at a veterinarian because they did not allow blacks to go to the dentist. His living mother, like we have so much recency bias that we will be like, black people need to stop living in the past. My guy, I'm not even 40. My father was segregated. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what the fuck I'm trying to say? Like, this shit was not that long ago. And there are still some residual effects that are affecting people. Right? So please do your research, man. But I think this is a very sour topic.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that we had to speak on this, but I just want people to understand the reason why sometimes I go a little deep or Keith might go deep is based on the fact that we have a responsibility, not just as podcasters that speak to our audience, but also as black men that know the history, that we won't just be getting on here and shitting on white people, but to actually give history of why we feel the way we feel. Okay? So there's that. You have anything else to add to this conversation?
No, I don't.
All right. Where are we at, man?
It's 45 minutes.
That's all we need to give that, man. Because my thing is I'm getting tired of having these conversations.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunately you can't ignore some of those.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lighter topic. This is a complete jump from what we were talking about. We'll be jumping into the Olympics. All right. Switching gears. 2024 Olympic Games. Let's go into a good conversation. Snoop Dogg carries the Olympic torch. All right, I'm surprised.
Shout out to Snoop, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Snoop. I'm surprised he didn't try to light his blunt with it. Snoop Dogg carries Olympic torch ahead of Paris opening ceremony. Rap artist Snoop Dogg strutted with the Olympic torch through the suburbs of Paris before the opening ceremony on Friday. The Grammy-nominated Snoop, who will provide commentary as special correspondent throughout the Olympic Games, he did that last Games, I think, too. Walked through the streets of Saint Denis, whatever, as the final torchbearer. French actress Laetitia Casta and French rapper MC Solar also carried the torch from Saint Denis.
MC Solar is crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? That's fucking wild. I'm surprised they ain't got fucking Spectrum Internet out there. And he said, I look at this as a prestigious honor, something I truly respect. I would have never dreamed of nothing like this. He said earlier this week, I'm going to be the best on my best behavior. I'm going to be on my best athleticism. I'll be able to breathe slow and walk fast and hold the torch with a smile on my face because I realize how prestigious this event is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going from being a Crip in Long Beach to holding a fucking torch?
Bro, yeah.
My
That's
God.
amazing, dude. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
You can't even, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Snoop, yo.
That's the beauty of like just life, dude. You don't like you're not if you could continue maturing, continue progressing in life, like you can, that's what the American dream is all about, you know. And as much as we kind of like to critique this country, like there's also that opportunity for Snoop Dogg to be like gang banging and selling drugs, and then, you know, but like 30 years later, maybe you running around Paris, like with the torch, you know, with the Olympic gear and covering the Olympics. Like that's a beautiful thing, you know. That's inspiring as well, you know, to just let you know how far we can take this culture and take your own journey. So it's dope.
Absolutely. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, but that's only one part of multiple conversations surrounding the freaking Olympic Games. Another one is the anti-sex beds of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Okay, let me read what they mean by anti-sex beds. Anti-sex beds at the 2024 Olympics explained the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics has ignited old discourse and fake news as rumors of the anti-sex cardboard beds of Olympic Village have returned to social media. Okay, what are the anti-sex beds, Olympic beds? The cardboard beds first went viral in 2021 after American track field runner Paul Kalimo posted them on Twitter, claiming that the beds were aimed on avoiding intimacy among athletes. Beds will be able to withstand the weight of a single person to avoid situations beyond sports. At this point, I will have to start practicing how to sleep on the floor. Damn. From photographs, the so-called anti-sex beds appeared to be flimsy, and rumors spread that they were designed to collapse from intense physical activity or if occupied by more than one person. Oh, yeah, this bed looks fucked up. This is the craziest story. In order to prevent Olympians from having sex and thus risk spreading the COVID virus, beds at Tokyo Olympic Village are made from cardboard, so if they collapse if more than one person gets on them. Jesus Christ. Let me just say this, okay? The idea of trying to stop the most best athletes in the world from having sex is a joke. I think it's a joke. I think that it's a conversation of free will, right? And under their own free will, they've made it to the Olympics. They've worked hard. They've eaten a good diet. They've trained, and it got them here. Let them fuck. That's what I'm saying. I don't see a problem with them fucking. By the way, I don't think that everybody in the Olympics has the same situation. You're not going to get LeBron to sleep on that fucking cardboard if you did. It's just not going to happen. This guy's he's a literal billionaire. He's the richest guy in the fucking Olympics, right? And the most decorated athlete besides Simone Biles. But yeah, man, you got to realize that the Olympics are 1 in every 4-year thing. Imagine this, right? Imagine you're not LeBron James, but imagine you made it to the Olympics and you're like a heavyweight boxer, right? And you're maybe like a bronze guy or silver guy. You didn't really bring home the gold. But you're in Olympic Village, your events are over, and then you run into this girl from, Sudan or from Venezuela or whatever, and she's beautiful, right? And she's like, yeah, my events are over. I'm just waiting for the final ceremony, and she's beautiful. You're handsome. And she's like, yeah, we should go back to your room if that's okay. And y'all go and rock each other's world, and you have a good time, and it's cool. You might not ever see that girl again, man. It's like, you could imagine what it looks like going to the Olympic Village with all of these different women.
It's probably very I'm on both ends, exotic people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's probably, I was telling Keith before the pod, it's probably some girl from Beijing that had sex with Michael Jordan in the 80s or something. She's like, Michael Jordan, very nice.
Black man, yeah, black man.
Very nice.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Bigfoot, yeah. You never know, man. Yeah, we just talked about racism. We just did an Asian voice. Yeah.
I ain't never killed no Asian, though.
Oh, crazy, yo. That was mad racist, kid. Shout out to Panda. But yeah, I just think we don't know what these athletes are doing, but I don't see it as a problem. I just think there's so many beautiful women, and I'm pretty sure the women are attracted to a lot of the men there. And some of these people are young single people. And some of these people might be their last time ever going to the Olympics. You got to understand that some of these, these athletes that are running at 200 or whatever, they're not going to, there's a chance they may not go back. They may not qualify.
Yeah.
And what's her name? I'm pretty sure she's in the Olympics, ain't she? Richardson? Damn it, the track star. God damn it. Sha'Carri.
Oh, yeah, Sha'Carri. Yeah, She's running track. I don't know if I don't know what track events have started already, but yeah, she'll be there.
Let's see what she's running. Sha'Carri, 2024 Olympics. Sha'Carri Richardson Nails deserves her own gold medal. Okay, it doesn't say anything yet. I don't know what she's running. She might be running the 100. But she's young, man. She's only 24. She's going to be back. Holy shit. She'll be back at 28.
Yeah.
And then possibly 28, 29, 31. She could be back at 31, 32. I've seen some people have 3 Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
I think the thing that I would say is I don't know the validity to, the Forbes article, and they're saying that these are like anti-sex beds. I think that that's like, I don't think that they are creating anti-sex beds. I think that's just a narrative. I think that they are trying to create like a cheap bed, like, but I don't know if they're thinking that far ahead. Like, we're trying not to have multiple people because, to my understanding, they're also passing out contraceptives to the people, in the camp.
Damn.
So, but yeah, I think, I just kind of skimmed through an article just now. They were talking about how, it's inevitable that these people are going to have sex, but part of it was just saying like, most people think that this is just crazy, like sex orgy, but a lot of these people are like legit athletes.
Absolutely.
And their schedules like are conflicting in a lot of cases. So, if you playing basketball, you might have practice and then, you might have a game and then this other person is probably resting because early in the morning they got to do the archery thing or they got to go ride horses or BMX, so it's like that thing. They were saying like, it's inevitable that these are young athletes and they're probably going to, have some sort of sexual interactions in most cases, but basically they made it sound like it's not nothing like outside of the norm. It ain't no Diddy party is basically what they're saying.
Ain't nobody getting peed on?
Yeah, ain't nobody getting peed on.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I think that this is like, it's probably some thing, an idea that was kind of sprinkled through, through the internet and they just kind of ran with it. But I just think overall they were trying to create like a very like cheap way to fit thousands and thousands and thousands of athletes from every country in the world in a very confined space in Paris. But yeah, I think that they are probably having, it's just like a normal job, whatever job you worked at, and there were men and women involved, young men and women, and multiply that by however many athletes are there. That's probably what it looked like. Nothing too crazy.
You know what? I think that the best way to describe this is a Kanye song that would describe this Olympics very well.
What's that?
Come on, man.
Which one?
Where's the Olympics at right now, dog?
Oh, niggas in Paris?
Yeah.
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 Some niggas getting it. Yeah, I don't know. I think, but the thing about it, we'll never know, because I don't know any athlete that's in the Olympics. But I think that this is what I would say. I think that there are a lot of people that are very hyper focused right now because they know that this is possibly the last time that they can be in the Olympics. So I think for an NBA guy, for example, say I'm not gonna say no name, but I'm on the Olympic basketball team, and I got like a certain way that I move, like in the States, right? I may go out, have some fun or whatever the case may be, but when it comes to like dealing with females, I got a certain way that I move just because I know niggas be getting caught up out here.
Yeah.
Niggas be getting like Snapchatted while they laying, sleeping and like all kind of stuff. So I say that to say that if I am such and such player on the Olympic team, I might be more comfortable flying a couple of them out You know what I
Man.
mean? But you know, it might be smooth to have like the Brazilian, you know, volleyball player or
Jesus
whatever, the
Christ.
Brazilian Australian swim team girl or whatever. That might be smooth, but it might be too much effort, is what I'm trying to say. To for me to be practicing, for me to be trying to win a goal. You know, if I'm running 100 meters or something like that, you know, I got to keep my legs because I got to run rounds, and you know, it might, you know, just like how boxers, they be trying to abstain and stuff like that. Imagine if you're there at the Olympics and it's your once in a lifetime and you probably 28 or something. So
Right.
you know this is
This is
probably your
probably
last
it.
time.
Yeah.
The discipline that you got to have to get there is probably going to be a little different, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think on one end it's probably some, you know, some wild stuff going on. Like, yo, I just finished, you know, my event, you know, and I got a couple days rest before I go back and do the relay or whatever.
Yeah.
I can see you might be wanting to get it in, but I think for the most part, these are athletes that are literally the best athletes in the world that are trying to, you know, achieve gold in certain events.
Absolutely. But there's certain events that don't, you know, there's certain events that like when they end, they're basically just waiting on the final ceremony. Mm-hmm. So can you imagine, like, let's say you get a gold medal and whatever. Let's say you do the pole vault. Let's say you do the freaking, what's the other one? Damn it. The pole vault. What's the, where they fucking throw
Javelin.
the javelin. Let's say you throw the javelin, whatever the case. Whatever the case, let's say you do that and you're done. And
Right.
you got like 5 or 6 more days till the fucking Olympics is over.
Right.
And you just in Olympic Village chilling. Like you seeing LeBron and you seeing these other people. It's just all these athletes everywhere. Bro, there are too many beautiful women at the motherfucking Olympics, bro. And I'm not even trying to like what's the word? I'm not even trying to like creep on them. But goddamn, like you be all these Brazilian women walking around. There's some video of these Brazilian like beach volleyball players, and I'm like, man, like as an American dude, you don't really see that. Not that.
The American volleyball players be like, what's it? I forgot the girl's name.
It's 2 of them. Walsh is one.
Yeah,
Of them.
I hope they not in the Olympics no more. Hopefully, it's some
No.
younger talent out
Yeah,
there.
there
But yeah,
is.
they was definitely in there. But she was skinny. The one tall, was it like Misty Walsh or something like that?
Misty May, I think it was.
Yeah, but yeah, they used to. They definitely was in there like every year doing their thing. But yeah, different cultures. They definitely have different food that, you know, out there.
Yeah, Carrie Walsh, geez, bro, she was getting it. She's 45.
Misty May and Carrie Walsh.
Yeah, Misty May. Yeah, Carrie Walsh is 45.
One of them had, I think the tall one had split off. She was doing her thing a little bit after, what's her name had dropped off. The shorter girl.
Yeah, but Carrie Walsh was in the last Olympics. She was 40.
Dang, yeah, that's what I remember seeing her.
Yeah,
there.
she was 40, bro. So most people don't get that. She's 6'3", so
Yeah.
she's a beast.
No, I could see that for sure. Like after you, because there's already medals that have went out. Like they've done some of the weightlifting stuff.
Yeah.
And then some of the swimming stuff. So if you only but if you only swam in the thing and you pretty much done, you either like hanging out a couple days, like to maybe watch other events, or you might go home. But if you hanging out and you ain't got nothing to do, like, you know, this is your time to eat good and travel, see some sights, and then go to the club, or, you know, maybe go to Olympic Village and you know what I'm saying, run through something.
Yeah, man. So shout out to
the thing about sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
The thing about the bed too is like, dog, people are resourceful. You could just move that cardboard, take your bed off that cardboard, put that bed on the floor, and do your thing. Cause it's still a mattress that sits on top of that cardboard. But if you just put that on the floor, you'd be straight.
Damn.
People have done worse.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I just think that these NBA players are too smart to get busted, even if they were doing something. Like, nobody would find out.
Yeah. They move. Yeah, that's hard because it's so much coverage. So that's why I say I think it's safer for them to move on their own accord. Because you got to think, like, a lot of those, mostly Anthony Edwards was in a situation. You know what I mean? But a lot of them, they probably got game from their OGs to where they telling them how to move and stuff like that. So I think they do be getting caught up. At least the NBA players, they be getting caught up. But for the most part, I think they got a tight ship. So if they do get certain other situations, like you said, and they probably living in a little nice hotel in Paris somewhere. Yeah, they doing all right. They doing all right out there.
Like, I want to show you to my chateau. We have a lot of fun here tonight. The Olympics only last for so long. You come here, you leave lots of time,
Yeah. French is the language of love.
Like, come to my apartment, I make you French fries all night. I will French kiss you while we eat French fries throughout the night.
French fries and crepes.
And what?
And crepes.
Crepes? Why'd you sound Jamaican when you said that? Jesus Christ, this guy. Yeah. Yeah, don't they got a Jamaican bobsled team though?
What?
Like they got a legit Jamaican bobsled team.
I mean,
in the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know how legit it is, but there was a Disney movie about the bobsled team.
Yeah, that was Cool Runnings, but I'm talking about they have a legitimate Jamaican team now.
I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know if they're still active in 2022 or whenever the last
Jamaican
Olympics.
bobsled team. Just looking it up right here. All right, Jamaican national bobsled team, Winter Olympics, 1998. Let me see if they have any more recent ones. I don't know. I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamaicans don't got no bobsleds out there, just weed. All right.
Yeah, that story was also very fabricated. Like it just, they didn't win anything. It was cool. The story is that they got there and they tried. Disney definitely
they just really leveled it up.
They threw a lot of salt on
the Jamaicans. They didn't win nothing, they just started barbecuing jerk chicken for everybody out there. Like
Bumper clutch. Welcome to Jamrock. Welcome to the Winter Olympics. Man.
I don't know why I hear that noise when I think of Jamaica.
That kind of like, it's like a what is that instrument called? It's like a steel drum. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a episode of, or not, it sounds like a level on Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of this. All right. Switching gears. 50 Cent's Many Men up 250% in streams following Donald Trump assassination attempt. This is fucking wild.
That was a lot.
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eyes, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. And niggas trying to take my life away. I put a hole in a nigga for fucking with me. My Mac on the wall, now you gon' see. All right, let's see what's going on here. And it's wild that happened. This is why it's important to own your music too. If you
100%, you just never know when your song gonna go viral, especially with streaming nowadays.
Man,
never know. And I will say this, the movie Deadpool. There's a lot of music that play. I'm not gonna give the story away, but there's a lot of music that plays, and I know those licensing checks. Oh my gosh. Like you said, if you own your music and you get your song that land in Deadpool, I know Jay-Z has a song in there. A couple other people, they got a nice little hefty check from Marvel.
Oh man. Yeah. So it says on Saturday night, July 13th, the world was rocked by the news of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump during a campaign rally near Butler, PA. As folks tried to make sense of what happened, they inevitably turned to the contemporaries' culture for most reliable source of comfort and helping to process world events. Memes, one of the most common such templates, compared Trump to the rapper 50 Cent, who famously rose to fame after an attack left him shot 9 times. 50 got himself in on the game, posting a photo of the iconic Get Rich or Die Trying album cover with a photo of Trump's head crudely pasted over his own, along with the shrugging caption, "Trump gets shot and now I'm trending." It's crazy. It wasn't just his image that was trending though. Listeners flocked to 50 Cent's Get Rich staple, Many Men Wish Death. The most frequent soundtrack to TikTok videos related to assassination attempt due to 50's history and Many Men Wish Death Upon Me chorus. Naturally, 50 himself also shared and responded to one or more social media posts. That's crazy because that song came out my senior year in high school 20 fucking years ago. So a song from 20 years ago, it became relevant again. That first of all, that album is always relevant. That's one of the best albums ever in hip hop history, in my opinion.
For sure.
It's probably top 10.
Slaps on there.
The whole album was fucking
even
hits.
The way that song come on, like
many men wish death upon me. Blood in my eyes, dog, and I can't see. That shit crazy, man.
Yeah.
That shit crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And the way 50 Cent executed that fucking song, bro.
Yeah.
Niggas
50 Cent had like just like crafting an album, obviously working with Dr. Dre.
Right.
But 50 Cent came into the thing. He had a lot of that momentum, obviously, because he got shot. And he was kind of already bubbling, but that kind of took him over the top. But, yeah, being signed to Dr. Dre, working with Eminem, and then just, like, his ability to, like, be an amazing songwriter, like, he was just taking those, like, the beats he had. A lot of those beats, too, when you hear that album, and you, like, I remember going back and just hearing, like, you'll YouTube, like, 50 Cent instrumental or whatever instrumental. You hear the instrumental, you be like, yo, this beat is kind of like, it's not really that great, you know? But coupled with the song and the chorus and all that, you be like, yo, this is the hardest song ever.
Yeah, man. It's just too many hits on that song.
Yeah.
It's just a not skippable. I don't skip songs on that album.
In the Club, Wanksta.
Oh, my God. If
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just too many hits on that song. And what's crazy is literally over the last 20 years, I've like turned that album on in the gym.
Oh, you listened to it recently?
Oh my God. You know, there's to me, there's like a top 100. I'll just say this. There's a top 100 hip hop albums of all time. Get Rich or Die Trying is on there. And believe it or not, Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap is on there.
For sure. Yeah.
That I purposely don't listen to Nipsey for months on purpose. Mm-hmm. And then I go back and I listen to Victory Lap. And it's just like,
it's still dope.
I remember where I was when I first listened to Victory Lap. I was headed out to Santa Maria. I was picking up a load of gas from Fresno, and I was taking it through Santa Maria. I was taking the 101, and I turned on Victory Lap. And I just remember, whoa. And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then it was
like
just,
the beginning of these streets.
that shit was just, man. And I had some Sony Explode headphones.
Yeah.
And there were like some Bluetooth, like it was trucker headset, but it had the option like to where you could have that motherfucker thumping. And I was like, oh my God, Nipsey is tripping.
Yeah, yeah.
I need some music from Nip too, man.
I think he got a verse on Rakim's album, I heard.
Man, I need music, man. I know Nipsey got something, but
I don't feel like I don't need it. You know, I don't know. Those posthumous albums are like not my favorite, just because I know that he doesn't get to put his all of, you know, he was a perfectionist. He worked on that album for a very long time. So, you know, I think it would be great, but I also think that, like, I don't know, you can hear like it's not how it was intended to be, you know, a lot of times, like half finished verses and moving parts around and stuff. So I don't know. I don't necessarily care for it. But yeah, that was a great body of work. I just like turning on an album and hearing the amount of effort that the artist put into it. You know what I mean? Like when you turn on an album like Get Rich or Die Trying, and you can
hold that thought. I'm sorry, man. My neighbors, when they cook, they put too many goddamn spices in the smell.
That's the neighbors?
Yeah, that smell is coming through my vent.
Bruh, I'm thinking you cooking something.
No, I'm not cooking this nigga.
I thought you had a air fryer on a timer or something.
No.
Or like a little cooking pot or something.
That's them, man. They work at a Indian restaurant.
That's not cool, dog.
Yeah, that shit is strong.
You can smell it way upstairs.
And
That's
yeah,
stupid.
and look here, and here's the thing: we all have cultural differences, and we use different spices and foods and things of that nature. But this shit is too powerful. These niggas got to be using 75 spices,
Yeah,
and one meal.
And it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
like why are you cooking dinner at 11 p.m.? Nigga, go to sleep.
Put that lamb back in the refrigerator. God damn,
That's crazy.
yeah, but you said Mini Man. Go ahead.
No, but what I was just saying, I just like seeing art in general, but definitely music where I can tell you put time into it.
Man.
You sat down. You might have rewrote some verses, or you swapped this song out for this one. You might have changed, the sequencing a couple times. Like I just like when you can hear the amount of effort that that an artist put into to crafting a project. And Victory Lap is one of them.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Get Rich or Die Trying is one of them as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it would have been genius if Trump tried to do that though.
Yeah,
like I'd like
somebody
to give a
said somebody said they tweeted because the video came out and everybody thought he really walked out to it.
Nah, he didn't.
But somebody was like, Donald Trump hasn't walked out to many men yet, so it was kind of like it's a possibility that
you got to understand his son understands the pulse of the internet. So if you ever see Donald Trump do something that is a reaction to the internet, it's because his fucking son knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. So Donald Trump Jr. is gonna be like,
yeah, he tapped in for sure.
He tapped in. He's definitely tapped in.
Yeah.
If he is, I'd like to send a huge shout out to my friend and fellow supporter, 50 Cent, Many Men. Was that the bomb? That would be wild if 50 came out a live performance, yo.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. That'd be the big that would be the one that really that would trip people out.
It sucks he can't do it just cuz the optics.
Yeah, the optics, yeah.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. That's why that's why I hate politics in a sense, because like for just a cultural moment, like a dope hip hop moment, that's fire. To have him, walk him out to the debate or whatever, whatever. I don't know when he would walk out again, but at another rally or something like that, I think that would be dope. But it would just be like, oh my gosh, 50 Cent, you're a traitor. I'm never watching Power again.
Yeah,
like
it
just turns into a whole thing.
Imagine if all of a sudden Kanye came out of nowhere and be like, I want to send a shout out to Kamala Harris. I'm supporting Kamala. He'd be like, what's up with this guy? This dude's supporting Trump, then he's supporting Kamala.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's just like, this guy just needs to get some mental evaluation.
Right,
done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of politics, though, I do think, Kamala, when she broke that record for I think she raised $81 million or something like that.
Yeah.
That made me think that there might be a glimmer of hope, for her when it comes to this race. I think they timed it like she had 107 days from the time where Joe Biden had dropped out. So I think that she could gain some traction, and I think more people like her than we like to let on. And I also think that we're going to get to know her over the next few months, and I think that they're going to they're going to see that she's pretty charismatic. Because I think that at the end of the day, I don't think people care about politics. I think people care about who they like more.
That's all.
Yeah,
it's the popularity.
I don't even know Trump's policies. I don't think he ever talks policy. I just think he makes fun of the other person. So, I think Kamala Harris and Donald Trump.
If Trump seemed like he would like, Trump would be like, we're going to give 50% off BBLs. All BBLs in the United States will be 50% off. Vote for me. Nigga, Trump will be reelected tomorrow.
Yeah.
The amount of BBLs I've seen on the rise, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go to Miami. Dr. Miami. The blacks.
My good friend, Dr. Miami. He's doing penis surgeries now. Oh man. Yeah, that's wild. I seen somebody said that BBL stand for be back later.
Oh dang. That's crazy.
Because people that usually get BBL usually get more than one.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I didn't know that was a thing, but I think who is it? Jess Hilarious was talking about it, and she was saying it as like no, I wouldn't say she was bragging, but for lack of a better term, she was just kind of like acknowledging her separating herself from other people. She was like, "Yeah, I just got it one time. I just did it the one time," and I was like, "What does that mean?" But then I realized that people going and getting like
multiple BBLs.
They
get BBLs to the second power.
Oh dang!
It's fucking math equation, man.
BBLs cubed.
It'll be crazy. It'd be a picture of a BBL and it just say find X.
Got the Pythagorean theorem on that.
Nah, I'd be like, how pi is 3.14?
Yeah.
It'd be like find K.
That's crazy.
Find the nearest quotient.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Damn.
PEMDAS.
You said a PEMDAS?
PEMDAS, the PEMDAS like parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's crazy. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Dang.
Oh man. Yeah. Shout out to BBLs, man. I will say this, that some BBLs some of these surgeons, they doing a better job these days. Mm-hmm. Some of these BBLs ain't as crazy, but
there's only been like I would say most BBLs look like BBLs.
Right.
Even if they do a good job. But there's only been like one occasion where I was like, shocked it was a BBL.
Yeah.
But it's mostly with like bigger women, if that makes sense.
Okay, elaborate.
Like the women that are like thicker body, like say you got to look like who's it? Like say for example, this is not, but like Lizzo for example. Say Lizzo gets a BBL. You wouldn't automatically assume that she got one just because her full body, she's got like a thick body.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a person like that here in town. She's like a nail technician, but she has like a BBL. But you wouldn't even think. You would just think like she was like just a full figure woman. But yeah, she got one.
Yeah, man, that's a trip. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now you got a point. Man, but some girls be skinny and they just put on this BBL and it just don't be matching.
Right.
BBL be just way too BBL-ish.
Yeah.
That BBL be BBLing.
You think Drake got a BBL?
Who?
Drake.
All right, man, let's switch topics.
BBL Drizzy.
That shit died so much and nobody even everybody was on that wave of BBL Drizzy and like playing with Drake, but it's already dying off. They Not Like Us is played out. It's amazing. It's one of the best diss tracks of all fucking time. But the shelf life wasn't very long.
Nah, that mug's still. I mean,
it's still
probably
in rotation.
Like
it's going.
Probably like internet wise.
Yeah,
but like in terms of like statistics, it's still
moving.
Top 3 in the country on billboards and stuff.
But it's just the effectiveness of the song. I just don't.
I think the beef has died down. So I don't think people are like energized by like making the funny videos and stuff. And I also will say I think it's important for us to realize that our algorithms are curated to us personally.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Yeah.
When the beef is ignited and everyone, the thing we're clicking on is like Drake this, Drake that, Kendrick this,
Absolutely.
Kendrick that. Like all those cookies and stuff are throwing all that stuff at us. Now that the beef has died down, like the song is still moving because people still listening to it. It's just not.
Certain people are still getting those feeds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but a guy like me is not. Man,
But Drake he dropped a couple songs and some of them sound like pretty good. He had the song on Kai Cenat stream that sounded really dope. So yeah,
I think that Kendrick don't even need to Kendrick doesn't need to announce his next album. He need to just drop that motherfucker.
Excuse me.
I think that would be dope. Like, don't say nothing, just drop it.
Yeah, I would do that because the single is already on fire. So if he drops the album August, September, just just on a random Thursday night, like it'll just catch so much traction.
Yeah.
Like the same way he was moving with the diss records, like he didn't promote them. He didn't say the album is dropping.
They just came out.
Yeah. If he did that the same way, like he just has so much momentum. Yeah. I'm sure something is coming though, because it's been a while since his last album dropped.
Absolutely. But I think what would be crazy though. Imagine how it feels as an artist to you drop your album, and then as soon as you drop it, imagine like going to Twitter and just chilling. And then somebody like, yo, Kendrick just dropped this album, man.
Right, that's how it be. You just like randomly open social media.
Probably 1 minute later, somebody say, yo, Kendrick dropped this album.
Right.
Because when you follow an artist, it pops up. It just boom on Spotify,
right.
Boom.
Yeah, those suggested new albums. Yeah, they'll throw it right in your algorithm.
You be like, oh shit.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting that. I get some interesting podcasts that pop up sometimes. It was one like scary story podcast that was animated. It was like videos. I'm like, what is this?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I get sent all kinds of shit, man. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. I think we could go ahead and close it down with the next topic here. Switching gears. $1 million lottery ticket stolen and returned back to the winner's hands. And this is proof that like whatever is meant for you, it'll come back.
For sure.
A gas station clerk has been charged with stealing the winning lottery ticket from a customer. It was very nearly $1 million lottery heist. A customer bought a big winning ticket but walked away empty. Detectives say the clerk tried to keep it for himself. We are talking about a $20 scratch-off worth $1 million. The customer walked into a Shell station in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, bought two tickets and asked the clerk to check them. See, that's the biggest fuck up. You don't just let them check them. You need to check them yourself. Because you can't expect them to be honest. If you get $100, $200, whatever the case, that might steal from you then, but $1 million? Come on. Anyways, Rutherford County Sheriff's detective said that a customer bought a $20 diamond and gold lottery tickets from a clerk, 23-year-old Meet Patel. His name was Meet, M-E-E-T. What a name. Anyways.
Pause.
Yeah, right. As some lottery players do to save time, the customer just scratched off the front barcode and then asked Patel to check if they were winners. If you scratch the front barcode, it will tell if you were a winner or not, regardless if you scratch off everything, showing how you
check out. You don't have to check the whole card. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's irresponsible. If it's your money, you need to check it as if you got $1 million.
Yeah.
That's lazy. And seeing how much you won. He won a $40 one too. He won $40, but homeboy kept $1 million.
$1,040.
He said both tickets won, but Patel only handed the man the $40 winner. He told him the other ticket was lost, but in actuality, I farted.
God damn.
It was a $1 million winner. He threw it on top of the trash as the gentleman left. He took the trash out, and the camera, you can see him grab the ticket and put it in his pocket.
That's a sick man.
So the dude literally tried to report the ticket and say he won $1 million, and the fucking lottery commission said we don't buy it, and they had him investigate it. And when they investigated, they looked on the camera and seen this motherfucker stole it.
I wonder what triggered them to think that he didn't buy it, because he worked there, or
probably because he worked there. And I think that's was like a conflict of interest or whatever the case. I don't know. But basically they weren't buying it. They had it investigated to know who won. And because they invest. Trust me, they can find out who the fuck does what. You can't just scam the lottery, nigga.
Yeah.
Do you think they want to just hand you over $1 million with no questions? That's $1 million.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of fucking money. So eventually, when they did that, the police reached out to the original winner. Do you know how good it feels? Imagine if you at your job one day and you like, man, I'm just so tired. I've worked all day long. I just want to see my family. And then the police come up to your job and they're like, we need to speak to David Jacobson. And you're like, oh my God. Why am I under arrest? I didn't do anything.
Right.
And they're like, David Jacobson, we got some good news. You just won $1 million. And you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
You're like, here. And they'd be like, here's your card. Here's what's going on. You got to go down here. But yes, you had $1 million stolen from you. We just wanted to advise you, and you have a good day. And I'll be like,
you're not going to work?
oh, nigga, I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I get $1 million at work, I just might just leave, man. You know, hold on. I have enough class that if I won $1 million, right? Let's say I'm already loaded, right? Let's say I got my load, I'm loaded, and I scratch off and I win. I'll deliver the load out of respect. Mm-hmm. I still would do it. But if I'm empty and I'm headed up, nigga, I'm coming back.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I would say with my new job, I'm probably finishing out the year. Probably finishing out the year. Because, one, I know that money just stacking.
Oh, man.
Like, throw it in a savings account, and I literally don't need to touch it because I'm already, like, my salary is decent. So I don't need to touch it at all. But, yeah, after that year, I'm putting stuff in place in my life to where I don't need to, like, I'm probably curating my life to where, you know how like retirement works where you get like an allotment. Like I'm probably curating my life where I get like 3 bands a month or something like that, where I don't got to do nothing. I'm not doing no side jobs.
Nope.
I'm literally just locked in. I'm writing, podcasting, you know, building out, you know, certain things and, you know, maybe running like a side business. But I'm not doing nothing that takes my time away from like what I really want to do in life.
Absolutely. I think here's the thing that sucks. If you give $1 million to the average American that lives paycheck to paycheck, they will fuck that money off.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to live like a person on the internet because they don't have any knowledge really of how to balance like a regular checkbook. But when you give them $1 million, that's when they're gonna buy a bunch of jerseys and hats and rims and cars, and they're gonna be spending a bunch of money bringing their friends over. Like, hey, we going to the club? We're buying out the bar. Like, people are that dumb. Mm-hmm. And then by the end of the year, they're gonna be like, we only got 60,000 left.
Right.
Because it's real easy to blow that $1 million, baby.
Yeah.
Real easy.
I know for like that's the beauty about like where we're at in our life. Because I feel like I had a lot of, even with a little bit of money, like I was like a very, very bad spender. But I know now, like, you know, just my maturity and the way that I think about money. Like I said, I wouldn't even quit my job. Like if I came across like, it would have to be significant. Like, you know, it would have to be like
10, 15.
Yeah, it would have to be like 8 figures for me to be like, I'm not going into work in August.
$1 million is only 10 years salary for $100K.
Right.
So that's when you look at it that way,
it's really cut in half because you paying taxes on
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's really 5 years. Honestly.
Yeah, so you're getting a little over $500,000, which is absolutely breadcrumbs. People say, "Oh, no, that's the 500 is a lot of money,"
but it's a legit 100,000. It ain't. It ain't 65.
Absolutely.
You know, like with the app. You might. If you make 100,000, you might only take home like 65.
That's sad, which is pathetic. By the way,
it's a legit 100 racks. You know, touching your bank account.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I a lot of times I think about if I come across a large sum of money, what my plans are. $500,000 is not that much money, but it is a lot of money to make an investment. If you invest in something, and it ain't got to be crazy investments. You know, if you already have vending machines, but imagine if you 4x that.
Right.
Like if you 4x that, it would just be a job at that point. You would have to just literally refill the machines. And
I honestly, like, it is a job. Like legit, like you got to go to the store and fill it up, and it's cool. But if I came across that type of money, I would definitely sell my vending machines.
I heard that.
I would get out of it because it's one of those things where, like you said, if you did want a lot of freedom and stuff like that, but it's still work. And the way that I want my life set up is that I'm not working, You know, I am not that I'm lazy, but I'm not working. I'm like doing like creative stuff and getting paid off of that.
I got it. Here's how you make bank. If I came across a large sum of money, 1, 2, 3, whatever money, I would buy an empty lot reserved for parking.
Where at?
You could get them if I could find one in Los Angeles
In
or
LA, you'll be straight.
You would be straight for the rest of your motherfucking days.
Yeah.
My God, there are too many events that happen in LA, and it's so frequent. You got the Dodgers, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got the Orpheum Theater. You got all these different events in LA every motherfucking week.
Right.
And if you have parking that you gotta pay for, see that all that parking for the Dodgers, that's their shit. They own that. But if you have other events, like if people want to go to movies or certain stuff, and they gotta pay, let's say for parking, let's just say parking is, it'd be steep. Would it be like $14? You know,
yeah, $20,
$10. Like to go to like the Comedy Store was like $10, right? So they did multiple shows, and the comedy shows open multiple times a week.
If you did the way that the Dodgers is set up in the football stadium, if you found a way to like orchestrate a shuttle type of situation,
Oh shit!
where you got a nice sized lot. You got
That's nearby.
You got maybe 15 minutes away. Like you got like you in Los Feliz somewhere. And you got somebody manning, parking, making sure everybody's cars
safe.
is aligned. Yeah, and then you got a shuttle that just runs to the stadium every 10 minutes or so.
That's a big one, Keith.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You just get you a nice, it ain't gotta be crazy. It could be like one of them short buses from back in school.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up to say, right?
Let's get it started and I was gonna say the other word, but we can't say that. We gotta change the lyrics.
Let's get what it. You know how they bleep it out. All right. But yeah, man, if you got one of those like buses, it's like a class B vehicle, but it's got a good size to it.
Yeah.
And you have a parking lot, and the parking lot ain't got to be crazy. Imagine that the parking lot had about 40 stalls. That's it. About 40 stalls. Let's say let's just do the math, right? Let's do the math. Go ahead.
You could obviously do sports, but the LAX is another one that makes a lot of money. I've definitely parked because they're not staying for 4 hours. They're staying for sometimes 3-4 days.
Oh my God.
I've parked. I was going getting on LAX, and then I was going. I don't remember where I was going, but I've parked my car at the airport and just left it there for like not at the airport, but at a like a shuttle service. I think it's called like Foxes or something. So you park your car there, and then they'll take you to the airport. And then you leave your car there for a couple of days, and you pay like $30 a night or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my
that's another
God.
one where you can make solid bread. Yeah. But they're not even like, and like I said, they're like 10, 15 minutes away from the airport. So
oh my God.
Little parking lots like that. You can make bread.
Oh my God. You imagine that, and here's the sick part about it. That's not 4 times a week. That's not 5 times. That's 7 days a week.
Yeah, every day somebody catching the airplane.
That is 7 days a week. If you catch a lick like that, like if you catch a movement like that, I will personally, the number one thing I do is I find somebody that needs a job in that area. I'll be like, hey, are you looking for work? I'll be like, hey, I'll hire you tonight. I need security. I will go grab you a uniform, get you everything you need.
You need a solid manager. Like
Absolutely.
You need somebody that maybe ran a fast food restaurant, some sort of facility. Even my brother, like he working what do you call it? Like transportation. So
Oh
I'm sure
yeah,
he would know, like, okay, we need this amount of employees. We need this amount of security.
absolutely.
This person gonna work this shift and just have him run the whole thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, that's just bread, bro.
absolutely. Man, I don't know. I've had these thoughts many times about coming across a large sum of money and what I would do. And I think as much as people say like, oh, that's just a pipe dream, like you have to kind of prepare your mind for these scenarios. You don't know where your life is going to be. You could sit there and say like, I'm just going to work my whole life and I'm never going to have any money. Or you could prepare your brain for when that shit really goes down.
Right.
It's no different than preparing for like, it's no different than preparing for other situations. Having that internal dialogue is really important, because like the reason why if I have a conversation in public with somebody about something and whatever the matter is, and I'm speaking through it, it's because I've had that internal dialogue already.
Yeah.
Like I kind of have it already kind of pre-baked into my mind of certain information. Why do you think like we were talking about earlier about the Sonia Massey thing, and I was talking about like the historical context of things that people can reference, and I'm naming these things. It's because I've sourced them myself, but I remember them. And it takes an internal dialogue to do that. So with this, folks, I would start doing a better job of like thinking about how you would manage a large sum of money.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember one thing that I tried to do is like nip in the bud when it comes to like the when people put limitations on you.
Yeah, don't do
know?
that.
And it could be something simple like, oh, we'll never be in this situation, or I can't really see myself in that situation. I'm like, nah, that don't apply to me. Like, my life is, I'm not where I want to be, but I've even been in certain situations where I'd be like, dang, how am I here? Like, how am I in this studio? How did I meet this artist? How did I meet this actor? Whatever the case may be. So yeah, I never like put limitations on my life, especially now. Like we're kind of like, just moving in a direction toward, where we're progressing, I'm not the person that's like gonna be like, man, that'll never happen to me. I'll never hit the lottery. I'm not playing the lottery, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna say that I'm never gonna hit it, because that one time where I might be like, bruh, man, I ain't got nothing to lose. This is my last $3. I'm about to buy this scratcher.
Man, hey, yo, I did that in college, bro. I swear to God. I did that in college. That had to be like 2006. And, it was like 2007. And I remember I was broke as hell. And I was going to and from Bakersfield College. And I only had a couple dollars. I had like $8 left. And I went to this store off of Haley. It's a Shell station, like way down the street from BC. And I went and grabbed 2 scratchers, and I had like a bag of chips and something else. And like I got in the car, and I'm about to start busting down some Doritos, but I'm scratching it. And the first one was like $2. I was like, whatever. And then the next one was $80.
Sheesh.
I said, God damn. I got right back out my car, went and got that money. I sure did.
Yeah.
And then I looked up there, and it was a winner at that same store for $275,000.
Dang.
Man, $275,000 ain't the world, but let me tell you something. It will affect your life in a good way if you know how to manage $275,000.
How do you I don't know. That's definitely like you said, if you're smart, and that's my recommendation for anybody. If you do hit the lottery and it ain't like 9 million, 10 million, 11 million, like just keep going to work, man, because that money is just gonna stack and stack. And when are you ready to like,
I get that. I don't know. I kind of disagree. I agree and disagree. If you're at a job that's weighing on your mental health and you just have to get out of there, get out of there.
but I mean, everybody's situation is different, but
Absolutely.
a lot of times the mental health aspect of your job is that you broke. Like you doing all this labor and you broke. But if you're, because I'm saying like, what some teachers that I know, for example, they, by the time they, they reach their retirement like 59 and a half or whatever, whenever they get to pull out that bread, they had $1 million in their bank account. So I just say, like, what tends to happen is, and this is from experience, when you have a certain amount of money, it could be $5,000. You think you up, but you not making money and you just pulling from that money is just dwindling away and you're not adding to it. So there's a way, obviously, you could set it up to where, okay, I got a high yield savings account, but there's nothing that is going to earn you the amount of money in the same time period as just working your job. So I honestly, that would be a true like test. Like if I work at Walmart and I am a millionaire, like a low millionaire, 1-2 million or something like that, how differently will I be able to show up knowing that I'm not broke? I don't need this job, but like it is, I'm gonna just work here, to pay my bills, of course. And then, when it's time for me when my life is set up, when I got my account set up and my investment set up, I'm gonna just dip out of here in like 6-7 months. Like, yeah. So that's my recommendation. Don't treat it as if this is going to be your retirement, but set it up in a way to where your life is taken care of.
I just want you to be honest, though. I don't think that most people in America are set up to be that way. I think that most people have not done the inner work to look at money in a healthy way.
Right.
And I think that when they get that amount of money, they're like, I'm out of here. Fuck
this job. It's a wrap. Yeah.
And then by the time they try to manage the money, let's say they got $2 million after taxes. Mm-hmm. By the time they're like, okay, we need to look at what we investing in, they're already down about $820,000.
Right. Because you probably going, oh, I got to buy me a house. Mm-hmm. Then you going to probably buy your house in cash. Mm-hmm. Then you going to be down $350,000, $400,000. Mm-hmm. So half of your money gone. And then, you probably going to get you a car. That's another $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Mm-hmm. So you already at $410,000, $420,000. And then with the rest, you probably just going to be blowing it. Like slowly, it's just a slow leak. It's like a slow leak in your tire. And then the next thing you know, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you'll be like, dang, dog, like you checking your bank account like, dang, how did I spend all of that money? Like I couldn't have spent all of that money.
I think the thing is, man, like if I was to have a lot of money, there's no way I would tell hardly anyone, first of all, because their expectations of you are going to change. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how you think people will perceive you. Once motherfuckers know you got money, that's when things go downhill. Mm-hmm. Because they like, the food, we gonna eat, we gonna party, nope.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Right.
No. Yeah. Well, I think we've ran out of things to say today. So I think it's safe we go ahead and wrap this thing up. Folks, if you have made it to the end of this episode, I genuinely appreciate you for listening. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
And we are out of here.
Peace.